over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing and join the board in a moment of silence as we honor our veterans, our first responders, and our active military. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to our work session. Before we get started, I would just like to once again reiterate that we have a very busy weekend here in the village. We hope to see you, if not at all the events we have going on this weekend, certainly at some of them. On Friday night, we have our first concert in the park, Tramps Like Us. We are watching the weather, so please watch your social media and our email alerts and text messages, and of course, if you have any questions, you can always call Village Hall. We will see how the weather holds up for Friday night. On Saturday, we have the Arts and Automobiles on 2nd Street in front of Morgan Park and St. James. That is the first time we're doing this event. I'm very excited about it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It is also the day that we will open our pool. This Saturday, 11 a.m., the pool is officially open. From here on out, and it has been going on for a few weeks now, any pool-related, leisure pass-related, camp-related issues would now be at the pool, leisure pass office, and not here at Village Hall. But again, if you ever have any questions, you can certainly call us here. And then on Saturday night, we have Shakespeare in the Park, Hamlet. That will also be at Memorial Park. And then on Sunday, although it's not a village event, but it's something that has been a long-standing tradition here, is Troop 45's Father's Day pancake breakfast, and it is at Mineola High School from, I believe, 7 or 7:30 a.m.
7:30, Mayor.
7:30 a.m. to noon, and Troop 45 does amazing, amazing work, so we hope to see you at some, if not all, of these events, okay? With that, I'll entertain a motion for approval of bills and payroll.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by trustee Casado. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Solosky. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Rivera.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Resolved to approve a request by Boy Scout Troop 45 for the use of the John S. Devanzo Community Pool to conduct life-saving merit badge sessions on Wednesday, June 19, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Thursday, June 20th, 2024 from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
This is an annual request. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved to approve the membership of the following candidates as recommended by the Mineola Fire Department: Jack Collins, Company 2, Timothy Hart, Company 2.
Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by trustee and ex-chief Clark, and seconded by trustee and honorary chief Paul Casado. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just one personnel item. Resolved to authorize the hiring of seasonal employees for the John S. Devanzo Community Pool and the Summer Recreation Program as indicated in your packets.
Okay, as we had mentioned at a previous meeting, you know, this is kind of a work in progress. Some people drop off. Sometimes we have spots to finish. So entertain a motion to approve the list that is provided to you.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Solosky. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Clark. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Reedy.
Good evening once again, Mayor, members of the board, Mr. Gibbons.
Good evening.
First item I have for your consideration this evening is a request for a resolution to authorize change orders numbers 1 through 3 for the 1,4-dioxane and PFAS treatment at well number 4, contract number 1, general construction. Change order number 1 is to provide a concrete ledge to support the overhead doorway and align, the fiberglass reinforced plastic landings in the GAC building. Total cost is $3,215.10. Change order number 2 was for the additional tree removal required from some additional dead trees that were on the property. Total cost was $3,932.21. And change order number 3 was to furnish and install 2 replacement sections of fiberglass reinforced plastic railings in the GAC building to accommodate the installation of the heating units. Basically, gas piping that ran along the wall pushed out the area where the railings had to be, so we had to readjust that. Total cost on that is $6,304.87, with a total cost of all change orders at $13,452.18. But the cost of all change orders will come out of the general construction allowance, resulting in no change to the total general construction contract price. So basically, this project began in December of '22. And these are the first 3 change orders we've had thus far. So that project's moving along really, really well. There may be a few more for some of the other primes that are there, but everything seems to be going along pretty well. We will have some additional concrete work that we've requested that made sense to go around the building, connecting certain areas rather than leaving grass area that would be mud, things like that. But I don't anticipate a huge amount of additional change orders, hopefully, at this point.
The work is looking great, and this is obviously the well over on Old Country Road in 8th.
Correct. We're probably, 85% finished over there. We should start to see a lot of site work going on, which will mean leveling of the existing, ground area, some installation of crushed stone, curbing, and then asphalt. We are waiting still on the generator. We do have to bring in, make a repair on the water line that exits the area, but it's all starting to really take shape now.
Absolutely, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to authorize these change orders.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Solosky, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item I have is a request for a resolution to authorize change order number 1 to the 2024 street lighting contract to add an alternative decorative fluted pole and luminaire to replace the Lumec Domus Series decorative fluted poles and luminaires. As the board may recall, a lot of the downtown lighting that was purchased many years ago, this Lumec company, they're in Canada. And occasionally we have accidents and hits on those poles, or we need to replace the luminaires, the head fixture on top of them. It takes 8 to 12 months to get some of this stuff. And recently, another company, Hapco, has provided similar looking decorative fluted poles and luminaires during the the third track project. So if you look at in your package there, it shows what they look like, and they are quite similar in look with the fluted pole and that head, and those would be all LED luminaires. So a lot of the high pressure sodium that you see that's out there on Mineola Boulevard and Jericho Turnpike, that the globes on the bottom are grayed and yellow from the heat. Those we can start to replace, because to do this, I had them put it together as a complete package of the pole arm and luminaire, which cost $7,885, but it also broke it down by just buying the luminaire at $2,985, or to replace the pole and arm at $4,900, which of course adds to that total, but gives us the option to buy those as we need them.
As we need them, okay. Yeah, obviously, we do have some problems. There were good intentions when we put them up.
Absolutely.
They look beautiful, but we do have some problems in procuring the needed hardware when we do need it.
And we're upgrading all of the overhead lighting in that area to LED, and it would make sense to do these as well and do it locally and quicker.
I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Casada, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Clark, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item I have is a request for a resolution to authorize towing storage fees for the village's abandoned vehicle tow car operator, Cross Island Records, and all tow car companies operating within the village of Mineola. So in accordance with the code, section 483, subsection 31B, entitled Towing and Storage Charges, which states, storage charges shall be at a rate as established by resolution of the Board of Trustees. So I'm here almost 34 years, and to be quite honest with you, I don't recall the board ever setting a rate. Generally, our previous tow car operators would operate under the town of North Hempstead's rates. But at this point, we do have a few vehicles that are being stored, and the storage fees is being challenged, and we should set a rate. So I'm recommending to the board that daily storage fee be $40 per day, which is in accordance with a lot of the villages and towns that are around us. I mean, they do go from $10 to $50. But not having all of that information, I don't want to put you in a position where you're on the high end. I'd rather you be somewhere in the middle so that they don't get challenged.
Sounds good. Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark, second by trustee Solosky. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, and I do have one personnel item that came up late yesterday. An employee in our water and sewer department, Eric Richter, has made a request to use 20 days of Family Medical Leave Act days. Basically, from June 11th through July 8th, he has a family situation, a health situation in his family that he has to help deal with, and I'm requesting that the board honor that. Mr. Richter does understand that it does not come with pay unless he has time to cover that, so, but he does need this time to help take care of his family.
Yeah, and I am aware of the situation and certainly warrants it, and we are with him at this time, and he needs to be with his family, so I would ask that we accept the request for the use of FMLA. Do I need a motion for that? I'll entertain a motion.
That's a great idea. I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Casado, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Solosky, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Ray?
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Otherwise, you did mention, obviously, the pool, and we are down there working feverishly, the guys, to get all of that going. As you've said, we have had a number of activities and have a number of activities coming up, so accommodating all the ones prior to opening the pool, and now the ones this weekend. It's been a little difficult, but it will get opened and done as it always has, and that's a credit
I know,
to
and
the people that do
As I've
it.
mentioned here many times, a lot of the same people that we see doing these things are the same people that are prepping the pool, and, this is certainly a busy season, but every year it comes off without a hitch, so.
Yep.
Knock on wood. We are looking for people to volunteer to be the first ones to jump in. I hear the water is nice and warm, so, Ms. Parda? Oh, Mr. Rivera, yes. Oh, okay, good, all right. But we don't need just one volunteer, we can have multiple volunteers.
Exactly.
Okay? So, thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Rivera.
very much.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Gibbons.
Yes, Mayor. I have a few resolutions. The first, resolve that engine 166, manufactured by E1 in 1993, model Cyclone 2-stage pumper, has reached the end of its useful life, has become obsolete, and has no remaining value. And it is further resolved that engine 166 shall be donated to Esther Regia Fire Department, and that all expenses incurred in the shipping of engine 166 shall be borne by the Esther Regia Fire Department.
Okay, thank you. So if you remember, this is the fire department that we did our exchange with when they were here in October. We are actually now going to be going over there next month, where the chief and some other fire department members will do some training, and we'll also happen to be there for the 100th anniversary of the fire department. And we've had this engine essentially sitting idle in our DPW yard. It is obsolete, it is not worth anything, but they are willing to ship it over there and try to, make use of it somehow. But again, completely at their cost. So for us, it's just a gesture of the donation, and it doesn't really cost us anything. So I'll entertain it. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Mayor, whether in America or Portugal, firefighters have a comradeship with one another. This is an excellent exchange and a goodwill gesture.
Thank you, I
I'll make
appreciate
that
that.
motion.
Motion by trustee Casado. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Resolved to accept with regret The retirement resignation of Superintendent of Public Works Thomas J. Reaney, effective July 31, 2024. It is further resolved to pay 30 days of accumulated benefit vacation time upon separation from the village, and to make 4 equal payments of accumulated benefit sick and personal time to begin in January 2025 and each year thereafter in January 2026, January 2027, and January 2028. Each annual payment shall be issued in January of those consecutive years.
Okay. So that may come as a shock to some people. You know, Mr. Reaney, and I didn't prepare anything, I didn't write anything down. Mr. Reaney does not like a lot of fanfare and certainly doesn't like, you know, a lot of attention when it comes to these things. But, you know, Mr. Reaney is synonymous with this village, 32 years, at least? 33 plus years. But it's, you know, Mr. Reaney moving on is going to be a huge loss for this village for sure, but we are going to make sure that he doesn't go too far and that we certainly have access to his wealth of knowledge, experience, history. It has always amazed me how Mr. Reaney has been able to just identify anything historically from a sewer, a water main break, a street. You know, when I've asked him for a list of street pavings, he can give me what years these things were done. It's a lot. We're a large, complicated village, and a lot of that falls into our Department of Public Works. Yes, we have other sections of the village, but by far the department that really interacts the most with the public, the department that has the most impact on the quality of life of our residents is DPW. It is certainly not an easy job because you can't always please everyone. You can't always pave every street, take down every tree, fix every problem immediately, and sometimes people don't want to hear that. They get the brunt. You know, we may get people up here, you know, once or twice a month. They get it every day. And at the end of the day, the buck stops with Mr. Reaney. And for the last 30 plus years, Mr. Reaney has handled that job, that responsibility, with a great deal of integrity, professionalism, fairness, knowledge, even when delivering news that or answers that people didn't want or didn't expect or didn't agree with. So it's not going to be easy, but I wish Mr. Reaney well in his retirement. He certainly deserves it. You know, this is not an easy job. Storms, you know, emergencies. He doesn't live around the block like we all do, and responds, is here. I remember since I've been on the board, you know, Irene and Sandy and other, you know, emergencies where days on end, you know, and Mr. Reaney has a family too, and he's got a house too, and he's got responsibilities too, but yet oftentimes putting our homes and our safety ahead of his own personal, you know, needs in those situations. So we appreciate that, Mr. Reaney. We thank you for your service, and I could go on and on and on, but I think that, you know, you've certainly made your mark on this village, and that will not be forgotten anytime soon, even by the people who may not have always liked you. I think, yeah, I think, you know, as I tell my kids, the opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. And I think that we cannot be indifferent to the job that you've done in this village and the contributions that you've made to the village. And I think we're going to reap the benefits of your hard work, your professionalism, your attention to detail. You know, you've always made a point, not just me, I've only been here 2 years, but you know, you've been through what, 5, 6 mayors probably? You know, you've always made it easy for us to look good because you've done all the work behind the scenes, you've done all the hard work, all the negotiating, all the, cost saving and all the, getting out ahead of problems and solving problems before they became problems here. So on behalf of those 5 or 6 mayors, I want to thank you because you've made my job easier. So thank you, congratulations, good luck, and don't go too far, okay?
And
Anyone else wishing to, we still do have to approve the resolution, so.
now, so,
I'm not so sure you got the votes.
so, Mr. Rini, Tom, I think I've known you like for a gazillion years. When you first started, Mr. DiDomenico was the supervisor. I was MAA president, you were the assistant, and I'll always remember your efforts during Hurricane Sandy. All the trees were on the floor, and somehow you made them, within a moment, you made everything like disappear. So thank you, thank you, thank you for your service.
It's not done alone.
I know, but thank you for your service.
great people.
Yes, so thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Well, I want to congratulate Tom. We've been friends for 36 years. We've worked together when we were in town hall. I was in the supervisor's office, he was in highway. We worked there together. When I moved on to Cablevision, together we wired the village with fiber optics. Then when I was chief of the fire department, we worked together again. And now in this capacity as trustee, we're back working. So it's been 36 years of working with you, Tom. It's been a pleasure. You're a real gentleman, you're a pro, and you're gonna be missed terribly by this village. So congratulations and thank you.
Tom, we're gonna miss you tremendously. You made a hard job look easy. And the residents appreciate all you did, even if you didn't give them the answer that they wanted. You're a hard worker, we're going to miss you, but enjoy this retirement. Good health and have fun.
Thank you, and I, Mr. Rini said something that I don't know if it was heard, but the point that Mr. Rini has always made, every time that we've thanked him for something here, he always took that praise and really put it on his men. And he's always made a point, and that's the sign of a true leader, is someone who is there to take, the first shot right out in front, but is the one who pushes those behind him in front of him when it's for the praise. And Mr. Rini always did that when we thanked him for things like snow plowing, clearing trees after Sandy. That didn't happen anywhere else. I mean, we were really ahead of the curve. The water, the stuff that we're doing with water right now, I mean, you're reading in Newsday, a lot of these places are years behind where we are, and that's because of the forward thinking, also the connections that Mr. Rini has made over the last 32 years to be able to get equipment and parts and labor, lined up, and that is going to be hard. I'm not going to lie that I'm a little nervous about the future. I'm a little apprehensive because it's not going to be easy to replace that. But I think that the village will continue to be in good hands, and as I said, we're going to look to, Mr. Rini's not moving to Florida yet or South Carolina yet, I think. So we'll see. There'll hopefully be more news to come. But Mr. Rini, congratulations, good luck, and we certainly will miss you. And this village is indebted to you for your service. Thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion to accept, with regret, Mr. Rini's retirement.
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Second by Trustee Casado. All in favor? Oh, wait, do you want to say something, Mr. Gibbons, or no?
Why not?
No, I thought I heard you clear your throat.
In addition to his exceptional competence, which you've all talked about, he's a good guy. So to have someone that I've worked with every day for those 30-some-odd years, I'm going to miss him.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Reedy.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll entertain a motion to close the work session.
Wait,
No,
wait, wait,
Oh.
wait.
You're not used to me having a report,
You're still done? You're not done? You got more?
I have a couple
Oh.
land use considerations.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. You should have read that one last then. That was like a mic drop moment. Now we gotta go back? Okay, we gotta edit that and put that at the end. But I did remember the affidavit of mailings today.
Yes, you did, you did.
What, 3 times?
Yeah. Okay, the board heard an application back on April 10th for a residential development at the southwest corner of Harrison Avenue and 3rd Avenue. That application is now ready to vote. Regarding the CEQA portion of that hearing, I offer the following resolution supporting the adoption of a negative declaration and determination of non-significance. Be it resolved that the proposed action will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, and be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby adopts the attached CEQA negative declaration pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And before you vote on the resolution, I'll note that the full text of the resolution and the negative declaration would be available for review by the public commencing at about 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Salaski, second by trustee Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
With the CEQA portion of the hearing ended, the board can vote the decision.
Okay, so we heard this, this was the hearing on Harrison. And it's the empty lot that is there, so I don't think we need to rehear the application. I think we're all familiar with it. I know that Deputy Mayor Sartori is not here, although she did express to me that she would have voted favorably if she were here. I too would like to vote in favor, so I would like to accept a motion to approve this application that we heard on April 10th.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Salaski. Mr. Rivera, please poll the board.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Casada,
Yes.
trustee Salaski,
Yes.
Mayor Pereira.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Gibbons?
Yes, also on April 10th, the board heard the application for residential development at 228 Harrison Avenue, and I would offer the following resolution supporting the adoption of a CEQA negative declaration and determination of non-significance. Be it resolved that the proposed action will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, and be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby adopts the attached CEQA negative declaration pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. And again, the full text of the resolution and the negative declaration will be available for review by the public tomorrow morning at about 10 a.m. at the clerk's office.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Salaski. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And Mayor, the board can now vote the application.
Okay, so this is the project immediately across the street and just to the east of the project that we just approved. We know that there were many residents down there. I think that down here for that application, many of their concerns were heard and were mitigated, and I know that there has been continued communication between the applicant and the residents to make sure that the residents are included in the final project in terms of their concerns about noise abatement and shrubbery, and all of those things have been addressed by the applicant to the residents immediately behind them on Cleveland. And again, Deputy Mayor Sartori did express that she would vote favorably for this project as well. So I'll entertain a motion to approve this project.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Clark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Salaski. Mr. Rivera, please poll the board.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Casada,
A reluctant yes.
trustee Salaski,
Yes.
Mayor Pereira.
Yes. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Gibbons?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Sure.
Tom's a good guy.
Okay. With that, absolutely he is, I will entertain a motion to close the work session.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Salaski, seconded by trustee Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And I hear that Mr. Gibbons is a good guy because he's buying dinner tonight, so.
Hey, if Tom comes.